Hello, this is a very exciting time. And if you stay with me until the end, you'll learn how to breathe like a warrior. And I called it Dantian and pelvic floor power. Also, most important because my daughter asked me, you need to record something on this regarding breath, because she was a mother a couple of weeks ago, months, and she's regaining her power and her structure. The objective of this is to integrate this power of our breath, also to help out in the way that we have external applications like striking, grappling, pushing, and pulling. I want you to think about this as we deep dive into breath today. And I think most people get it wrong, to be fair. And I've had many help from sorting this technique out. Okay, it's definitely a technique. We think and we know that breathing is automatic. So by default, we ignore it. And sometimes even folks in here that are trained, they wonder, why do I gas out, get extremely tired in just 30 seconds? Yes, it could be the fact that you're training enough, your cardio capabilities are not enough, but many times, even why do some strikes lack power, or people cannot stay calm under pressure? And I've seen this happen a lot, so I decided, okay, it's time to pick up what's best in traditional Chinese medicine, what's best and what we know from research, and deep dive with these two these two giants, specifically on Dantian breathing or belly breathing, as you will see. And when we talk about Dantian breathing, some folks ignore, or I would say forget, the pelvic floor. Pelvic floor, usually think about, from the three buttons, the three fingers post our belly, but think about your pelvic floor, all the muscles that constitute everything that is in your tummy, okay? From your tummy down, your reproductive system, your adrenals, everything. For 42 years, I've been studying and training how the body generates power, how we train for self-defense, and this comes from Chinese traditional medicine. I've worked with teams that were NASA awardees in challenges, and of course, Krav Maga since 1993. And here's something that is super important. Your breath is your foundation. Your pelvic floor and your overall core is your power center. When you connect all of these things together, I would say everything, or a lot of things change. Our strikes become better, our walking is better, our ability to decide under pressure is way better. It's just tremendously way better. So in the next 20, 30 minutes, you guys need to stay with us. You are going to learn an ancient way of breathing, the Dantian breathing, that builds internal power. You also will see how your pelvic floor would allow it to create more core stability. And super important, the science connecting the breath to your martial arts performance. And if you want to be more particular on that, the self-defense aspect is how science connected to breath and self-defense all comes together. And yes, I will go through one Krav Maga technique, okay, where I think it demonstrates how you use breath, and that can be helpful for you. Again, this is not mystique or mystical science. Everything that I do in here, that people training here, it's measurable. I would say also like the cold that we have outside, it's tremendous. We are in Morris Plains, New Jersey. We are in probably one of the coldest days of the year. In Celsius, we were about -17, so it's been really, really cold. More important than ever, breathe well and maintain that calm under pressure. So let's start with the science of breath and what effectively happens. If I put my hand in here, okay, in my chest, okay, let's say most people breathe like this, short breath, okay? It's shallow chest breathing. See my hand in here, I can show you from the side. It's essentially my chest is moving, my chest expands, and I feel some tension at my neck, okay? But it's just in here, okay? I call it, this is stress breathing or stress breath. It's also seen like in fight or flight breathing, and you get to someone when the person is heavily stressed, you'll feel this, it's terrible, like, but I would say research from multiple peer-reviewed studies does show that chest breathing reduces CO2 levels, and it does limit your oxygen delivery, and that I would say that's something that we need to avoid when we maintain when we want to be calm. It activates it activates stress response and increases muscle tension. It's definitely a mechanism, and it's important. It's important under certain conditions, not all of them. So when you do this, you'll feel that immediately. You feel your stress response happening. The next thing, it only uses from the upper capacity of your lungs. The thing about the shape of the lungs is something like this, right? So there's just fewer alveoli. Alveoli are the structure that receive oxygen, and it does create fatigue and would limit your power generation. So remember this. Too shallow, right? Too small, just the chest. Now watch this. Let's go in here. We're going to think about our hands below our diaphragm. Put your hand on your tummy. Let's go with the tummy right now. First exercise. The chest is quiet, so I can have my hand on my chest, one hand in my chest, and the other hand on my belly. Shoulders are relaxed, and I would say gently let your weight go into your heels, and then adjust it to your center. Now, inhale the nose, expand your belly, exhale to the mouth. Align your head, inhale the nose, exhale. And that's Dantian breathing. We'll go into more details as we step along. Inhale, exhale. I'll show it from the side, okay? Inhale, exhale. Align your spine, bring your buttocks inside. Align your head, inhale, exhale. Bring your two hands, exhale. So the Dantian, this area, the Chinese discovered it probably thousands of years ago, and modern science does confirm this. If you just bring, 3 fingers below your navel, and it's 2 fingers inside, but we cannot do that, right? So it's deep in our core, and the Chinese call it the Dantian. But from a Western science perspective, think that your center of gravity is located there. It's your deep abdominal muscles. It's where there is all this convergence of strength over here. And from another perspective is your diaphragm, this line over here, creates maximum pressure over there. And your pelvic floor, what's below, provides provides also this foundational support. So a structure in here, another in here, and the dentin is in the center. Okay, it's super, super interesting. The traditional Chinese medicine calls this area a sea of qi or qi. You don't need to believe in qi and qi. I don't know if I believe in qi or qi. I do see the effects. Sports science calls this your power center. You see me accelerate from here and from here. So we push our hands, the core turns. It's tremendous. It's the same concept, okay, guys, but with a different language. When you breathe from the depths of your dentin, you activate your diaphragm in a correct way, properly. You engage core stabilizing muscles and you regulate your nervous system. In fact, if you do the exercise of breathing from here, now changing from here to your tummy, to your dantian, there's an immediate regulation of your mental state. I feel it. And super important for self-defense, you start getting ready for power generation. We'll talk about the right breath when you are in sparring position, or the right breath to handle multiple rounds. Now, let's deep dive into our pelvic floor. And I want to do that in an easier way. We are going to sit down, so slightly move the camera down. Okay, when you sit down, and I would say, probably don't mention this enough, but if you love, I'm going to sit down in here, your pelvic floor. Now, the research from the journals, from the journal Sports Medicine shows this, and probably might be one of the most important muscle group. But overall, and I don't know if everyone is training it. That's why I want everyone effectively to train it. And it's not just about the bathroom function, okay? Because that's obviously a critical component of this, a critical component to having a proper health in your tummy. So we want to be able to train our core stability and power, and essentially the power transfer. You see the coordination between legs and upper body is done by your core. So we are working on three key components: core stability and power transfer, breathing coordination, and spinal protection under load. If this area is effectively not capable enough, it's not flexible enough, it will be very, very hard, for example, when you grapple, that you exert the right angle of strength. Next thing, energy conservation during training. And this, I've seen this more, to be fair, more in women than in men, but the studies do show that 50% of female athletes and 25%, the research is clear, of male athletes have a pelvic floor dysfunction. See this? They probably train a lot of bicep curls and pushes and pulls, but that's essentially a way to see energy leaking out, not having a real stability to generate power. So I want you guys to go with me into this exercise, thinking that breathing, the breath with the pelvic floor component is really, really important, and it will propel you into a better way of doing martial arts. Okay, so But I want everyone to, you can start with your legs on the ground and lying down in here. You bring your, I'm gonna start with your left hand on your on your right hand on your chest and your right hand on your tongue. Gonna bring the buttocks inside, slightly tilt. Inhale to the nose. And in here for now, there should be no room behind your backs. The right hand, the one on the chest, does not go up. And only the left hand goes up. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, I still maintain the legs like this. You're going to bring your buttocks inside, slight rotation of the core. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Again, focus on your glutes. Bring your glutes inside. Contract your sphincter. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now relax your shoulders. Just focus on inhale through the nose. The air goes in like a ball. Now close that with your pelvic floor, with your glutes. Exhale. I said the glutes because it's easier to feel, I'm going to say your butt muscles, okay? But if you think about a bit more deeper, we're able to bring the area between your genital organs and your anus rotating up and relax. Inhale. And now. Slightly come up. Okay, so when you breathe out correctly, your diaphragm extends, the pelvic floor gently contracts, and the abdominals, all of them engage. What this does is that the overall internal pressure does stabilize. And this coordination is automatic in healthy breathing. That I would say it's direct. Now we'll be moving up, okay? We're moving up because when you are in here, you don't need to worry about alignment of the head with everything. By default, you're aligned. So you can start these exercises by just laying down on the ground, doing inhale, exhale. But then the tightness over here doesn't need to be on the glutes. You should feel inside your pelvic floor coming up. Exhale. Bring that big belly. Exhale. The next thing that you're going to focus is on your sides. As you inhale, think about expanding your breath up and also with the sides. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay. Got it? So that's an exercise on the ground that you can do like 15 breaths. Big, long inhales and exhales. That will start tighten this area in here, tighten at the same time, make it flexible and strong. Now, let's come up, okay, and do the same exercise, but now we have gravity, and I would like everyone to follow along with me and practice the same exercise but standing up. So legs shoulder width apart. If you are more into the old martial arts position, you can go horse stance, but I'm going to start from here. It should be enough. We have our hands on our belly. The hands are over here. Inhale. Exhale. Align your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now focus on your belly going forward, yours and mine, belly going forward and to the sides. Think about like a big structure over here. Inhale. Exhale. And as you inhale, rotate your hip in this direction. Inhale. Exhale. Like a wheel. Okay, like think about this is a wheel. And when this structure stays aligned, your back step aligned, the spine gets aligned, at the same time you enhance this capability of breathing better. Inhale. And inhale deeper. Exhale. Think your hands as that small horse stance, aligned. As you inhale, the weight goes to your heels. Exhale. The weight goes forward. Inhale. Relax the shoulders. Exhale. Line your head. Inhale. Good. Exhale. Inhale through the nose. Let's do this 5 times. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Strong exhale. I inhale to the nose. You can focus on one breath, one nostril or the other, but it's all fine. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let's count 4 times. Okay, ready? Inhale. The belly hand rises. There's no chest. Hold. Exhale. Hold. You'll see that the buttocks will go back. Inhale. Exhale. Let's put those pauses now, right? Inhaling 4. Hold. Exhale. Inhaling 4. Gently draw your belly toward your spine. Yes, you heard that. Excellent. You should feel a gentle upward movement of the pelvic floor. Okay, this is the foundation of that power breathing. Let's do it again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Good. Let's come up, shake it, relax. So the exercise number 2. So we started on the ground where we could see the variation between, okay, I don't I want to use my chest, I want to use my tummy. Now, we came up and look at same thing, moving forward and back, aligned with gravity, okay, having a sense of upright posture. Now, I want you guys to add a bit more of complexity. I want to bring the breath. So we have the breath in this direction by default, like we, focusing on that, having the breath moving forward and back. And now I want you to think about the breath going in here and also going to the sides. Like if you could expand your rib capability, okay? Yep. Ready? And to do that, I'm gonna say that the easiest way is that you're gonna put your hands in your hips like this. So no longer in here because you already know this technique. Okay, we'll go here. You are going to put your hands like this. Okay, you're going to place your hands with your thumbs back. Okay, thumbs back in there. Ready? So same position over here, flat down. Okay, well aligned. Let's go to that. Let's do like just a couple of them. Inhale, forward. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, hands over here, and your focus and mine is inhale. It's moving the belly forward and the expansion of the ribs to the side. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. Can even tap the hands, like if this helps more. Inhale. Exhale. Move my thumbs behind so that I can feel my ribs, my lower ribs, flex the shoulders. Exhale. 3 more cycles. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Once more. Exhale. You start to see that some areas like they kind of start popping up. Okay. Inhale. Exhale. I like to think about, you've seen fish, and sometimes they born from multiple places. I don't think about my ribs like that. Okay. Now, gonna move that exercise to the back. Your hands are in the back, okay? And you'll do belly, side, and the back. Okay. And it's easy to feel the back because if you put your hands on your kidneys over here, it will happen the same way. Ready? There we go. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. So the objective is to expand behind, okay, right over here. As you inhale, exhale. Okay, now we've got everything, right? Front, side, back. Now we need to use our pelvic floor. Okay, ready? So I like to do it with my hands on my hips. As you inhale, Use your pelvic floor. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, when you inhale, make sure everything expands. As you exhale, bring your glutes inside. Ready? Inhale. Exhale. So you kind of tighten the pressure with your glute. Inhale. Like a big balloon on your belly. Exhale. And tighten it up, okay? Over here. Inhale. Exhale. When you exhale, bring your pelvic floor up with gentle pressure. Doesn't need too much, okay? My glutes are probably too tense. Inhale. Exhale. Now, let's go and add an exercise from Qigong or Qigong. Your hands come up. So standing, you're gonna bring your hands, folded, feet are shoulder width apart. Your hands roughly like, think about two turkeys, okay? Turkey one, turkey two. I learned this from my Qigong. And around there, okay, around in the second turkey. If you don't have turkeys, think about big chickens or big pollos. There you go. So feet shoulder width apart, aligned in there. The spine is long. Okay, you've got the ground reaching the sky and your legs in there. Arms are super relaxed over here. Bring them to that distance. Now, you already know the breath. What we'll do is, as you inhale, exhale. Use your big belly, your inhale, to open up your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Instead of having the hands opening and closing, you'll use your breath to open your rib capacity, your shoulders. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Now, in the next breaths, you choose focusing on this breathing, adding this one, or adding the back, or everything. Focus on one. I will be choosing a longer belly, a longer inhale, focusing on my center. Inhale. Exhale. Align the spine. Inhale. Exhale. Very cautious. Inhale. Exhale. One more breath with me. Inhale. Exhale. And slowly come up. That's abdominal breathing. Okay. bring the pelvic floor up. Use this capacity to go up, down in multiple dimensions. That was we did like a 360 degrees, and then obviously 360 degrees in this area. How I would like you to think and use this for Krav Maga. Hands up. If you're striking. You can use the palm strike from behind. Very classical technique in Krav Maga. Okay. And I'll give you a bonus technique at the end. Okay, be fair. So the hands are up. You wanna watch. You wanna exhale. Okay, when you punch, guys, you want to be able to go inhale and exhale in there. You don't need to do ki from karate. I need to inhale. Everything is ready, and when you strike, you throw this sharp exhale in there. Sometimes you see boxers go. Okay, same concept in here. Core engagement. And without noise, okay? Okay, you're not, okay, and obviously you're not screaming away to the person, you're exhaling. And when you fast exhale, it contracts. Okay, this thing becomes like a hammer, a full hammer instead of only becomes a hard surface on contact. That's what I would like you guys to work on. From here, instead of just this. Of course, you have to punch something, okay? You have to try this on the pads. So the power comes from this connection against the ground, and then you throw. The core allows you the stability with proper breathing, and the force transfer happens from the coordination between the leg and the pelvic floor engagement in there. Okay, this in there. In here. You see Bas Rutten do this. He exhales mainly with an extreme power in here. Okay? And it's that explosive exhalation timing that does help. And this is why you see people in the traditional martial arts saying power comes from the dantian. Yes, it comes from using this turn, using your legs and transfer to here, to the core, from the core. Now, I said that I'll give you something more, okay? Here's one technique. And I learned this from my Krav Maga teacher, Paul. When you're sparring, inhale, slowly, if this is your maximum capacity, around here, bring it to F or third, 3/4. And whenever you spar or you move, you're never too high or never too low, right? You don't want to be caught at this time with a hook or a cross or a kick. You don't want to be caught around here. Too open, you feel that the kick comes in or the hit and you'll just boom, you'll fall. So if you're shadow boxing, what I found is that I need to exhale to the nose. Doesn't feel the same way. But we can try. mostly because of the pressure that it's required. And now, of course, let's go back to recovery breathing. And you already know these, right? And inhale, sky, and so you can start gently, right? Gentle, gentle in here, gentle, exhale, slow over here, slow, slow, exhale, maintain your breath at that, not too big, not too little, in between, 30 to 40% capacity over here, so you've got some breath over here happening. Let's start connecting that. Good. Shadow box. Focusing on the breath, using the core from here. Let's start sometimes after 1, 2, or 3, throw a good cross. Good, a faster hook. Jab and a cross. A good cross. Jab and a cross. A jab and a cross. Uppercut. The slide with the hand, the move. 1, 2. And breathe. And down. Down 10. And down. So that's understanding your breath. No gravity, sit on the ground. Move to belly, forward, down 10. 3 fingers below, 3 fingers behind. Think about that. Moving it forward, buttocks inside. Start using the pelvic floor muscles. Then we use the sides, and then we use our backs, and then everything. Okay, our whole body, our whole breath from here up to here. Then we talked about, okay, sharp exhale on explosion. And then my secret, the Krav Maga secret technique of having the hands up, half breath, and this posture that I know it's a different posture from day to day when I be upright, but it's a super important posture in terms of defending ourselves against strikes and things that could hurt. I'd like to give you homework. I think this the reason why I don't give you homework is this. If you only do this when you are here with me in the lives, it's okay, because you will be training. But the only way to increase the number of repetitions is by making self-defense, breath integrated into your life, integrated into your day-to-day. So you most likely want to use this in the following way. Morning routine, 5 minutes. You can see me do this in the mornings after the workouts with the Nation. But if you don't have that, guys, do 5 minutes of dantian breathing. Put your hands on your dantian, on your belly. Find a position that feels more comfortable. Over time, you can even go lower, and do 2 minutes in here. Align the spine. Then 2 minutes of the 360 breathing. It's going to be more complex, but you can start over here. Excellent. and then 1 minute with everything, right? Coordination with the pelvic floor. Now, that's 5 minutes of breath, okay? Do 2, 2, 1. Next one, I would say when you come in here or you go to your practice, start the workout with breathing, breath awareness. What the heck does that mean? Well, you start doing, let's imagine that I'm doing my chokes routine. Okay. Am I breathing in the right time? Am I exhaling? Exhale when I'm striking. So, and then outside, if you can apply breath to power, to the timing of power techniques in the back, for example, when you come back and you go and you exhale on that. Okay. If you do karate, by default, someone will say ki, or they'll say something to you, and by default it will go out. And then, okay, the other thing is, for example, I was feeling a bit nervous about doing this live. Okay, let me inhale to the nose, use the belly to expand, and do like 4 breaths, and usually the nervous system comes down. Throughout the day, try this. If you stop in a traffic light, do that, okay? Stop in a traffic light, do like 3 cautious breaths. Don't go too high because you can get high. But I would say use a traffic light to do this. The other is when you go to your phone to see things, say, oh, can I do in here a couple of breaths, okay? And then don't look at the screen. Does that work? Now, 3 cautious breaths at that time will most likely give you better than the brain rot coming from there. Not saying that but it's so common that scroll up things like, okay, if I'm doing this with my thumb, can I turn the phone down and go, where am I? Do I need this? Because I think it's super, super important. More advanced practice. If you already have a Qigong or Qigong routine, you can combine, put the breath, put the particular block of breath in there, focusing on Dantian breathing. By default, it should be there, but if it's not, if you are doing the 5 elements, I would say exaggerate on the element of earth. That's the one that will allow more focus on breath. During light martial arts, this could be starting to work on your wrestling, slow. It needs to be light. Integrate breathing in there. Get that awareness, and then I'd say, guys, put this in our sparring. When do I put this in my sparring? When I'm like, man, this guy is really good. Okay, let me breathe better. When I put this in my ground sparring or in my rolls, when like, wow, his pressure is all on top of me. How the heck do I do this? And I remember this a lot. Inhale, exhale. I do that on top position just to ensure that my weight gets fully transferred in there, like instead of being contracted. So and then when I'm down, if he's on top of me, I'm like, let me use this type of breath to help me clarify how am I going to get out of this situation. In terms of science summary, diaphragmatic breathing improves, listen to this, oxygen efficiency by 15 to 20%, got longer capabilities, more alveoli, activates the parasympathetic nervous system, reduces stress hormones and inflammation. So you want to have something like this, and it's free. It's free. There is no pill, no prescriptions, nothing like that. The pelvic floor coordination, what we just did, bringing it, increasing pressure and decrease. It's essential for core stability and power transfer. We've seen that energy of the hands moving forward prevents energy leakage during force generation, most because it becomes a compact segment in the transfer between the leg and the core and the hands or the shoulders, and it does protect the spine during high intense activities. The way to combine these practices and why is this so important in my view and from watching hundreds of people, it does enhance the martial arts performance measurably. And I would cater to that, saying that it does increase your ability to take better decisions under stress. It also reduces the injury risk significantly. From a biomechanical perspective, we've got more segments more aligned and being able to interact. That's more interesting. Improves both the physical and mental resilience. I've seen this in me, essentially in jiu-jitsu roles, like my technique needs to work. If I breathe better, I do a lot of things for guys that are better than me, okay? So this is, guys, this is not like ancient mysticism, although it plays around when we do like these and look at the side. This is definitely modern and it's sports science that essentially confirms many of the traditional wisdom that has been put out there. Bottom line, your breath is your foundation. Your pelvic floor, your deep stabilizers are an inner power source. All of this area over here. And the dantian, that area called center of gravity, although center of gravity does change based on your position, but I think when you are in here, it's where everything meets. If you are able to put and master all of these things together, I would say a lot of things will become better in your martial arts practice, in your decision making, and in overall in your health. You know what I'm saying here? What I say here, like train every day, use science and this type of ancient knowledge with science that can be proven to make sure that you train well. You'll see that your everyday strength will increase, that your stress resilience will also grow. That's a practice that I do every day. That helps me. And it's so well documented that there are massive overall health benefits. If you want to know more about these, DM breath, and I'll send you the transcript of the science that I pulled up from today. And do remember, guys, ancient warriors, ancient people that do yoga, and they would also fight Chinese culture, Japanese culture. These guys, they trained for thousands of years without this knowledge. But now, without this scientific knowledge behind, they learn from this works, it doesn't work. It does have, they had battles to do that. We don't need that. We already have it. So the research proves this works. And I would say your body and your mind will prove that this works for you as well. Thank you for being here today. This was a deep dive into how to breathe, how to use the dantian, so that you can have the best martial arts career and the best decision making in your day-to-day lives. Take this serious, and remember, train every day. I'll respond to questions now. Enjoy your day. Okay, so here's some of the research papers behind that I can provide right now. Okay, the research that is also super interesting to follow along is this one. I think you can only hear my voice and tab behind. There we go. Oh, that's a good question. Okay, so is there any contradictions, anything that you cannot do or that you should if you have, is there any medical indication? Look, like in so many things, you need to consult your doctor. Okay, consult your physician to understand if this practice is good for you. But again, I am not again. Repeat. I am not a medical doctor. I cannot make any advice. This content is for educational purposes only. But I would say, like in anything, have good sense and pick it up from there. It will be easier if your doctor says breathing. What would be the concerns regarding breath that you might have? Okay, so the peer-reviewed study on diaphragmatic breathing in martial arts performance. It's a 2017 study. I'll place the title over here. So that's one that you can use. Again, consult your physician, okay? Before you do anything that might hurt you. I've shared them both channels. Okay. Thank you very much for being here today. And I shall see you in our next live regarding the science of striking.